to when you started your business. You had a dream. You had boundless passion. You wanted to create something different. There was a problem, and you were going to solve it. Being an independent retailer is rewarding, but challenging, and there's a lot more to it than you ever imagined. Well, Lightspeed is here to help. With 45,000 customers around the world, we've helped countless entrepreneurs nail the business side of retail so they can spend time doing what they're passionate about. Join us for a 6-week speaker series featuring a curated panel of experts that will answer some of retail's toughest questions and give you the edge you need to stay competitive. You have a passion, and we have a passion for technology inspired by you. Visit lightspeedhq.com/speaker-series to learn more.
I'm at Shop Talk 2017, speaking with Kurt Heinemann, the CMO of a company called Reflektion. Hi, Kurt.
Hi, how are you? Thank you, Darius. Yes, so we actually understand the intent and the preferences of individual shoppers. We work with our retailers to listen to the shopping behavior, every click, every search, every add to cart, every purchase, and then we take all the attributes of the things they've looked at or potentially purchased, and we understand what they're predicted to most want to purchase next, and we leverage that and present the most relevant products to the consumer as they shop online.
All right, so do you work with only online retailers or brick and mortar or omni-channel as it's called?
Yes, so we're focused primarily on online, but we're seeing a lot of requests to take what's considered kind of a data-rich environment online to a data-scarce environment, which is brick and mortar, through clienteling and porting our data and intelligence into clienteling apps so they can help the associate do a better job of recommending products and engaging the customer with more intelligent product recommendations.
Okay, so just thinking about the online part right now, how is life changing for retailers that are only online? What should they be thinking about in 2017?
Yeah, the interesting is the digital first or digital only retailers have done a pretty good job of understanding part of this is about the customer experience. I think the multi-channel retailers had a little bit of a challenge because they have so many things going on that they don't get to focus on any one specifically. As I take a look at digital first or digital only retailers, it's building out that customer experience, and so when you think about that, how do you engage them better? Voice search, photo search, being on the edge of the customer expectations is going to be important so they don't look at your company, especially a digital first company, as being behind the times. They're being judged by every app and every digital experience the consumer has. They're not giving excuses because it's retail. They're expecting the same kind of level of experience no matter where it is. And so we need to start delivering that as a community, delivering better experiences through voice, through photo search, through mobile devices, so that there's really a way to skip the desktop. The customer's demanding it. We're actually holding them up by not creating the best experience possible yet.
Right, so where does Reflektion sit in the tech stack of a retailer?
So we're all front end. The nice thing is because we integrate at the DOM level, we're able at the browser level, we don't have to do a lot of back end work, but we're able to collect all that information on your behalf in regards to what the shopper is clicking on, doing everything.
Right, so how do you actually do that? What does a retailer have to do to integrate with your system?
Yeah, it's very simple. They're basically adding a cookie to their site and they're giving us a copy of their product feed, and away we go. We integrate some creative widgets onto the site, whether through site search or whether it's through locations of the website or even email, where we're able to do that via dynamic URL. So those ways create that engagement point.
Okay, when you say they give us a copy of their product feed, is that like you need an access to the product API or?
No, they pretty much send us a nightly feed of what their current inventory levels are, the attributes, everything in their product file, that we understand the volume levels and the SKUs so that we can then present the most relevant products based on all the data that's associated with each product.
Okay, so you get a nightly or daily feed from the customer, and in that information is what you actually will use to determine the best recommendations or what to do. So how does it display on their product page, for example, or on their website?
Sure. So it's in a couple locations. As an example, on site search, we have a kind of preview search that allows the customer to see items right away when they start typing. Everything's individualized, so we're presenting the most relevant items to that individual based on their preferences. And then when they click on the results for typing in shirts, they get a full set of results on the search results page. On mobile devices, they can click on the photo icon and click a photo, add that to it as a search element. And then on the web pages itself, we're on home pages, on PDPs, on shopping cart with product recommendation widgets that are tailored to the individual as well.
So when you say tailored to the individual, where is that history coming from?
We collected in session, in between sessions, and so we have that stored and readily available in real time. So each click creates a whole new running of preferences. So we understand if clicked on one item, that gives us some information. 2 items gives us a lot more data. 3 is an incredible wealth of information that we can then start responding to that and presenting the most relevant products anywhere in the locations that I mentioned.
Are you able to focus on specific products that they want to sell? So let's say, for example, they want to push a specific product today. You're able to bring that up on the search results?
Yeah, so we're very, it's very aware to us that each retailer has their specific needs around specific products and merchandising. So there's complete overrides in terms of where and what. You can lock something into a certain location, but at the same time, you don't have to manage. It's almost like they're setting the strategy and not having to do the tactics in every moment. And so that allows them to free up their time and almost take advantage of every moment with really intelligent responses instead of just doing most popular or a segment-based approach. They're now doing to that individual as they shop. They're not trying to see what other people are interested in. They're really starting to focus on the things that they're clicking on them. The most important brands, the most important gender, the most important materials, whatever it might be, it responds very quickly to those style attributes.
Okay, but the data is coming only from that customer's history on that retailer's website. You're not aggregating data from other websites or other customers, even anonymized?
No, so we're starting to leverage third-party data where it's available. So if somebody has an existing relationship with Blue Kai, as an example, we might leverage that data. We found that data is good, but the first-party data trumps almost every element of information coming from other sources. Since we're really doing it at the individual level, we're ahead of most of the information coming in that's usually segment-based, that doesn't give us as much of a leg up as we'd hope.
What kind of KPIs do you use to justify?
And obviously that's always critical, but there's 2 key things we measure. One is a little bit more of the art side, which is a level of engagement. And so we measure engagement by time on site. We measure it by items viewed. So trying to increase that portfolio of size about how long they're engaging with the brand. The other critical metric is conversion rate. So one of our key targets of success, which is interesting. It's a 2-sided coin. The conversion rate goes up, which is great, and we have significant double-digit impact for our clients in terms of conversion rate increases. But it's also a great measure of, is the customer having success in finding what they're looking for? So when you think of it more from not just a commercial place, which is very important and drives a high ROI, it's just as important to understand that means your customers are having more success with your brand, which is really important for the long-term relationship.
Do you also work in the the cart abandonment area and getting the customer basically to put things in the cart and actually paying for it?
Yeah, so we do that in a couple of ways. First, obviously we're driving higher conversion rate, which means more people are adding things to cart, but we also have an email solution which drives not only intelligent, individualized merchandising on promotional emails, but we're just releasing behavioral emails as well. So not only are you able to add to cart, we've got a whole list of different applications in terms of actions that create those behavioral responses. So it's if you left something in your cart, if there's low inventory on something you looked at, if there's new items that match something you've looked at before that's no longer, a full set of things that are tailored not necessarily just as a trigger, but truly behavioral that takes advantage of our wealth of data around that individual so we can help promote something that drives them back to the site.
Amazon is going to voice with Alexa. What do you think as far as how voice is going to change conversion? For example, how do you measure conversion from a voice engagement?
I think people first have to understand there's kind of a split for voice. There's services like Alexa and Google Home, which are more controlled environments, or kind of closed environments. And so if you want to play in Alexa, you're going to have to play with Amazon, which means you're going to have to be on their website. They're going to have applications that are used via APIs. The thing to be thoughtful about is you can't cut and paste your dictionary thesaurus search solution over to that. You've got to think about things like natural language processing, universal search. Maybe you want to talk a little bit about your content that you spend so much money on to mix in there as well. So you have to have some really strong foundation elements to make it work. But you also have to think about the second part is not only Alexa and those what we'll call those closed environments, is site search a voice search on your own site. And so how do you implement that? Because if you have people reaching out to your brand and they're coming to your site on a mobile device, how do you take advantage of that and make sure that they're able to engage with your brand the way that they might engage with anybody else, like Amazon or like Google, so that they can have that similar experience of success and engagement and really wonderment that something that used to be such a complex thought that you thought would never happen is now actually working incredibly well.
Right, so yeah, that's going to be very interesting. Now, as far as the customer segment that you work with, is there a specific segment that you focus on or you start on?
No, well, we actually started mostly in apparel because that was one of the most data-rich environments and had the most kind of SKUs that were adjacent to other things. So it was easy to make suggestions around different patterns or colors or sizes. But what we found is when you do it at the individual level, we've done it for everything from licensed merchandise with clients like Disney for costumes and figurines, but we also do it for great clients like Godiva and chocolates. And what we found is that almost universally, when you respond to the individual's preferences and intent in real time, you end up being able to have a significant impact on the business. When you can raise conversion rates by 10 to 20%, that means things are working incredibly well. So it might not be true for a segment-based approach, but when you're doing it at the individual level and you have a good product catalog that you can have attributes on, a lot of times we have to help our clients make sure that it's even more a data-rich environment. You can almost work in any kind of retail category.
What about customer size?
Customer size doesn't matter either. Actually, SKU count helps so that you have more diversity, but some of our clients have, tens of thousands of items of merchandise. Some of them have less than 1,000. So that's usually, we thought that might originally be one of the differences. That hasn't been it. It's just making sure that you have enough traffic that we can gather the data and make sure it responds as intelligently as possible. But we have clients that are $5 million retailers, and we have clients that are well over 500 million.
Okay. What do you think about the role of video, recorded and live video now becoming a lot more popular in commerce, and how that actually might work in your business?
Yeah, so we see it in a couple ways. First of all, we think that video is turning into a snippet video environment. Everybody's getting television served to them on YouTube in bite-sized pieces. I think they're ready for that in the retail experience as well. Companies like Zappos have done a great job of going off the static page and really creating an understanding of what the item looked like in the real world through video. I think we have the opportunity just through the application of our photo search, because what people don't understand is every still in a video is a photo. So you can leverage those videos to actually extract what products are in there. So what we see is a great application for photo search actually applies to video as well. It's really outfitting. People take a picture of somebody they see in an outfit. We're able to spit back multiple products to them in multiple categories based on the photograph. It works in video as well. So I think what we're seeing is the convergence of sources of interest, whether it's going to be video or Pinterest or whatever it might be, that can turn into results on your page to say, here's items that look like the items in that photograph or video, and that's going to be the way that people start searching for things. It's going to be things that look like this, as opposed to, I need to buy a shirt. It's, I like that shirt I see in this picture, how can I find that?
How is your life changing?
The things that are changing for me is really just a focus on content. I think there used to be a thought that marketing was really the tip of the spear for sales. And what I found is in the retail space, these people are being inundated with attacks from marketers in one form or another and salespeople. What we're trying to do is just make sure we're providing thoughtful content that people can use valuably and understand elements of the industry that they might not have had enough time to focus on previously. So we found that content marketing is really a great way to share information that hopefully they can engage with our brand. It's not a sales environment. It's something they can feel comfortable with. They see if they understand and think the way that we do. And that's an understanding about if they wish to come into our brand a little bit more and look at a relationship.
Can you tell me about a really cool experience that you've had yourself recently?
Oh, that's a good question. Some of the best things I've had, and I'm not trying to push clients, but one of the interesting things about being a parent is you're buying for multiple children. And so going to websites and being almost schizophrenic in the way that you shop, in terms of the way that old world people might think about shopping and having different behaviors. I actually have been to the Disney site buying things for children, and it might be for my son, and then it might be for one of his friends who happens to be a girl's birthday party. But I actually went to Disney to buy merchandise, and I had previously shopped for Marvel superhero figure stuff, and when I landed on the page, it showed me that, which was great, but within 2 clicks, the whole site changed, and it actually started showing me all girls merchandise, and what I realized was that the site responded to me and my behavior, which is exactly what a consumer, not in a way that's explicit, but in a simple way where it's almost somebody's helping the shopper find the right aisle in those, unfortunately, endless digital aisles. That's really a great experience because it's almost like somebody rushed me to the most important aisle just for me based on what I was sharing with the website. And that is exactly what I think is an experience that sometimes you don't quite know until it's over that was so easy. And that's really been a great experience for me on Disney.
Uber is also in different type of retail, but the way that they're actually really using technology is very interesting, where they match the location and the needs of both the driver and the rider.
Yep.
Dynamically is pretty interesting.
Yeah, I did the other day actually from an Uber perspective. I think it's more of an integrated story. I was sitting in an office off-site, and my alert came up for the fact that I should leave because the location was 20 minutes away. Google served that up. But not only did it serve the fact that I should probably leave because the place was 21 minutes away, underneath that, it basically said, do you wish for us to call Uber and add that to your Uber location? So I was not only alerted to the fact that I should leave now, it also gave me within one touch the ability to transfer the address from my calendar to Uber and call the Uber with one touch. That, to me, was an incredible integrated experience.
So that was Google Calendar basically doing that. Yeah, so that's really what retailers need. That kind of an experience.
Exactly. To your point, I think it's that integrated experience where somebody might alert me that there's new merchandise that is almost, imagine that from a data perspective, it says it's a 90% match for their preferences. Imagine that it pops up and it says, this item just came in store, it's available in your size. You might not have to go to the site, but whomever it is, whether it's Google or whomever, has created an experience that is now off-site merchandising, but it's intelligent merchandising. It's not advertising. It's actually fed by data, fed by awareness that it's something I might want, and with one click, I could probably end up on the PDP page, and then more importantly, with Apple Pay or Google or Android Pay, I could just swipe my finger, and before you know it, it's at my house. And what we thought of, if you think about it, is the desktop used to be the king of the environment. If you do this right, mobile will actually be a better and faster way to transact in our future. Instead of it being a barrier, we need to think about the opportunity that's there that's huge.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. This has been very interesting. Look forward to hearing more good things about Reflektion.
Thank you, Darius. Thank you for your
Think back
interest.
to when you started your business. You had a dream. You had boundless passion. You wanted to create something different. There was a problem, and you were going to solve it. Being an independent retailer is rewarding, but challenging, and there's a lot more to it than you ever imagined. Well, Lightspeed is here to help. With 45,000 customers around the world, we've helped countless entrepreneurs nail the business side of retail so they can spend time doing what they're passionate about. Join us for a 6-week speaker series featuring a curated panel of experts that will answer some of retail's toughest questions and give you the edge you need to stay competitive. You have a passion, and we have a passion for technology inspired by you. Visit lightspeedhq.com/speaker-series to learn more.